Obama's decision to send openly gay athletes to Russia's Olympic Games. We are joined from Los Angeles by Cyd Zeigler. Cyd, some are calling this a genius move, a very positive message. Others, though, criticizing the president for playing politics. What's your take on all of this?
It's a great move. Look, the President of the United States gets to send a group of people to represent what the United States is every 2 years, the Olympics. The fact that he chose a couple of openly gay athletes is fantastic. And you know, it's interesting to hear them say that, oh, we're not necessarily trying to send a message. You know, you send a Billie Jean King, and Billie Jean King is a world-renowned athlete. Everybody knows who she is. She's broken records and you know, not just for LGBT issues, but gender issues. They selected Caitlin Cahow, and I guarantee you, no one in your audience can remember Caitlin Cahow or has heard of her. There's a very clear reason why they selected Caitlin, and that's to send openly LGBT people. I think it's a powerful message, and I think it's an important one. I'm very proud of the president for making that decision.
Okay, you say it's powerful and important, but what impact is this message going to have on Russia and the entire international community, do you think?
No one is going to change the laws in Russia. There is nothing the United States or the United Nations can possibly do to change that law. What we can do is show support for the LGBT people in Russia. Earlier this autumn, I met with several LGBT activists in Russia, and they said that every message of support that we can send from the United States to Russia is heard by the LGBT Russians, and then that is what is so important. So they want to see more entertainers and athletes stand up and stand up with them and support them vocally. So I think the important thing is the message that we are there. The United States is there for these LGBT Russians, even if there's just nothing we can do to change these laws.
You mentioned that you met with them. Do they feel beleaguered? How do they feel about this?
It's tough, you know. It'd be very easy. A lot of them could get political asylum and leave Russia, and that would be very easy. They could come to the United States, which certainly isn't perfect on LGBT issues, but we're a lot better than Russia. But they want to stay and fight. This is very important to them, that they don't just leave other LGBT families and athletes and other people behind, and that somebody stays and fights. So, you know, again, we're showing this message that we are by your side, and various organizations and people are raising money to help support their efforts. So I think all of this is important, and this is what they said they need. They need money, and they need the emotional support to fight the fight.
You know, the U.S. has an interesting history when it comes to Russian Olympics. Former President Jimmy Carter decided to boycott the Moscow Olympics in 1980. A lot of analysts now look back on that and they say it's a mistake. It was ill thought out, poorly executed. The boycott did not ruin Moscow's games. It was widely seen as kind of a petty diplomatic move. Are there any fears that this might backfire, that there might even be backlash towards those activists you were just talking about?
No. You know, boycotts never worked. No boycott of anything has ever worked, particularly the Olympics. Jimmy Carter boycotted the 1980 Olympics because Russia invaded Afghanistan. They were there for 9 more years in Afghanistan, and they didn't leave because Jimmy Carter boycotted the Olympics. You win by showing up. And I've said from day one that the most powerful message we can send is to send LGBT athletes who are participating, and also to be there as part of various delegations. And so I think it's an important message. And a lot of these activists, you asked about whether there's going to be repercussions against these LGBT activists. The great thing is that the world is watching now. And Russia, you know, Russia knows who these activists are. They know that they've come to the United States. They know that they've met with the State Department here. And the Russian government knows they can only go so far before some serious sanctions could come down on them if they start arresting random people on the street.
Well, we're going to have to leave it there. Cyd Zeigler, thank you so much for your analysis from Los Angeles this evening. Appreciate it.